Get a load of this. This is the world's largest Hummer, and it's not just a statue, it actually drives on the road. Good morning, guys. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We are headed out to the middle of the desert to the Off-Road Museum. Look at this. So we're in the middle of a freeway, and instead of having overpasses, they have 5-lane roundabouts in the middle of the highway. I've never seen anything like this anywhere else in the world. It's actually pretty crazy. All right, guys, so we are inside the Off-Road Museum, and some of the vehicles here are like nothing you have ever seen before. Get a load of this, guys. A 10-wheel drive truck that's fully functional, and at the top, we've got a camel as the logo. That is nuts. I mean, I have never seen anything like this before. Okay, to give you an idea of how big this place is, this area we're in right here is this little building. And there's that massive compound as well. A lot of people know the Lamborghini Urus, but didn't know that the first ever SUV by Lamborghini was this, the LM002. V12 from the Countach. This thing is insane, but kind of horrendous to drive. It drives a bit like a tractor. Look at this, an all-wheel drive limo. Every single vehicle you see in this museum is all-wheel drive and has a solid front axle. Look at this, looks like some sort of boat. I mean, that's just arguably one of the best looking vehicles I've ever seen. This thing looks extremely safe. It looks a bit like an off-road Volkswagen Beetle, but it's actually a Ford. Can you imagine seeing some of these things out on the road? Pretty insane looking Hummer convertible. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like a military tank combined with a school bus. Check this out. Behind me is the first ever 4-wheel drive vehicle in the world, made in 1909. I never would have guessed in a million years that the first 4-wheel drive car would look like this. And check out the company name. It's literally called the 4-Wheel Drive Automotive Company. That is pretty crazy. What a slice of history. I mean, get a load of this. It looks like a fire truck, but also a normal truck. It's absolutely enormous. When you decide that 4-wheel drive is not enough, you gotta go with 8-wheel drive. They've added an extra section to the front for I'm not sure what reason, and then an extra section to the rear of this vehicle as well. We've all seen the G-Wagon 6x6, but have you ever seen a standard looking Nissan 6x6? That is unbelievable. Look at that, a Nissan Lawn Delay. I mean, look at this thing. It's a Nissan on top of a Nissan. That is just, how do people think of these things? And then over here, we've got a car that's frontwards in both directions. All right, well, there's only a steering wheel there, but if they really wanted to get creative, they should have put a steering wheel on the other side as well, just in case. This GMC is pretty tall, right? But you guys haven't seen anything yet. Wait until you see how big the Hummer outside is. I mean, get a load of this Jeep Wrangler. That is absurd. And then next to it, the widest Jeep I have ever seen. Looks like a Hummer. I don't know why it's called a Jeep. Check this thing out. Oh my God. When you decide you need to take your standard Mercedes off-roading, because why would you not? This Nissan Patrol is quite interesting. It looks like you can either push your extra passengers or it can spin around and you can pull your extra passengers. Look at this, Guinness Book of World Records, largest collection of 4x4 vehicles, and we have only toured one room out of many. Archie, go and stand next to that for size reference. I have no idea what this thing is, but the world's largest aquatic all-wheel drive vehicle. Oh my gosh, it's even got a life raft up there. This thing weighs 200,000 pounds. Oh my gosh. I mean, this thing could tow your house. Oh, we've got another very interesting looking boat vehicle over here. Once again, no idea what this is. It looks like it's got a nice little face. Nice mouth, some eyes. Absolutely enormous collection of military vehicles in this section. Look at this. This is actually a Rolls-Royce micro tank. The PLP50 is cool, but I think I'd rather rock around in a Rolls-Royce tank. What do you guys think? It does appear to be missing any sort of weapons or turrets, but what a cool looking vehicle. Look at this. Here's an Audi I bet you have never seen before. Auto Union. Pretty cool to see the history of some of these automotive companies. Now, I don't believe this is AMG, referencing Mercedes AMG, but it is an AMG Jeep. And it's got some sort of wooden covered windshield. I'm sure lots of you have seen these Hummer military tanks, but how about a Volvo military vehicle? I wonder if this is as safe as their road cars. Look at this, a Willys Jeep taken apart, showing you how simple the design is. I mean, you can put this together very, very easily. And then they've got a miniature version right here. That is so cute. All right, into the history.
Into the big boy.
All right, this is just one row of many inside the historical building. Bright pink Jeep. Jeeps absolutely everywhere. Land Rovers over there, Nissans. Some pretty cool old school Land Rovers. I think you messed up buying the V8 Sport. You should have got one of these. Look at this, perhaps the world's tiniest Peterbilt semi-truck. I mean, compared to some of the other vehicles here, looks like a microcar. Old school Land Rover Defender. A lot of people have been liking these Suzuki Jimneys, especially in Europe. Shmi's got one, you used to have one.
Paid 17 grand for it.
No way.
Yeah.
That's pretty
and
impressive.
It would actually be worth 28 now, maybe.
No way.
Yeah, and I sold it for 17.
Now, I'm not sure if this is a typo, but this is called the Suzuki Jimmy. Might also be a Jimny from 1990. Oh, it's a Jimmy? Look at this lineup of G-Wagons over the generations. This is an interesting beach spec paint job. Pretty cool to see as they get older, yet still look exactly like a G-Wagon. A lot of older convertibles. Look at this, the first G-Wagon to exit from Germany and enter the Emirates. Look at this, it's a Japanese Hummer called a BAW Warrior BJ80. Pretty crazy. So this is a Hummer, and apparently this is called a Grizzly, which I've never seen before. Look at the sand tires on this Hummer. Bet that thing's fun. Look at this Mercedes Unimog. Traditionally, when I think of Unimogs, I think of massive vehicles, not little tiny ones, but that is pretty darn cool. Watch as the Unimogs grow in size. Look at this one over here. Oh my gosh. I think I need one of these for racing Archie. That way I can just swallow his RS3 whole. I mean, get a load of the size of this tire. That is absolutely ridiculous. You could live in there, I think. Really cool collection of military vehicles in this area. Everywhere you look is something you have never seen before, or at least I personally have never seen. Pretty cool. I mean, what a name. The Slinky. I love it. And then check this thing out. On tank treads. Oh, that is pretty cool. I mean, look how big this grill is. You guys think BMWs have big front grills? This is just absolutely insane. I can't even reach the front logo. I mean, how ridiculous is this Dodge Ram truck? The wheels have to be nearly 10 feet tall. I can't even come close to touching the top of them. You could easily walk underneath this thing. Look at the side exit exhaust pipes. The scale of this thing is just absurd. Get a load of this, guys. The world's largest Jeep Wrangler. And it's actually got another Jeep Wrangler to show you the scale underneath it. And to get inside, it's got its own staircase. Look at the size of these wheels. This one, though, I don't believe is actually drivable, unlike the Hummer. Look at this. They've stuck a car on the top of a pole that has done 1 million kilometers. Look at that axle. Okay, guys, get a load of this. This is the world's largest Hummer, and it's not just a statue, it actually drives on the road. Let me show you real quick. Stay here to show you the scale of this thing. I mean, are you kidding me? I've seen videos of a standard Hummer, obviously a very big vehicle, driving underneath this. I mean, I can almost go underneath it without crouching. When have you ever seen anything like this in your entire life? And apparently inside, there's a bathroom, there's a sink, and it requires you to stand up to drive it. I mean, I think a drag race video with this would do quite well. Who thinks of this? This Hummer is so big that you don't actually use these doors. I mean, imagine they open. Look at the size of the latch. You actually go underneath, and there's a ladder right here that allows you to climb up inside of the Hummer. When have you seen a vehicle where you have to use a ladder to climb underneath it to get inside? I mean, I have never seen a vehicle this big in my entire life. This thing is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look at all of the mechanisms to make this work. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Apparently, it's powered by 4 different engines. Yes, that's right, 1 engine per wheel to power the world's largest Hummer. The guy who made this actually took it out on the road and drove it for a while before it sat at the museum. I mean, look at the latch for the engine cover. You'd have to use some sort of crane and tool just to open up the engine bay. Well guys, there you have it, the largest Hummer in the world and a tour of the off-road museum with the most amount of all-wheel drive cars ever in one place. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.